Oroton is, I would say, one of the oldest leather accessory houses in Australia, and we recently celebrated our 85th, birthday, sort of a thing. So we majorly, historically, the company has been selling leather goods and accessories, primarily focused on women, and small leather goods for men as well. But since the last 3 or 4 years, we have started venturing into apparel, which is slowly becoming a bigger part of the business. And with added categories, of course, comes more complication. Um, I am the chief technology officer for the business. I look after digital development, data, and technology operations, as well as transformation for the business. So I joined the business back in August of 2024, and in the first quarter, I focused on observing quite a lot, and then sort of prepared a roadmap which got approved by the board after that. One of the very first initiatives that we realized was our inventory was not correct. Nobody knew exactly how much inventory we had at any given point of time. Now, in many cases, it was maybe 1 or 2% off, but in some cases, it could be off by up to 15%. And the problem was the way our inventory flew from different systems or within the architecture. It made sure that everything was going through our point of sale system. So basically, order management system was not directly talking to our ERP. It was all flowing through our point of sale system. There were some advantages of that approach, but there were quite a few disadvantages as well. So when we started working, one of the first projects that came off the rank was that we wanted to replace our order management system and possibly our integration layer at the same time. So we started working on that. We finalized NewStore as our point of sale and order management system. And then we decided to have MuleSoft as our integration platform. Now, with these two platforms decided, we went out to see who's an expert at delivering and integrating these systems into an architecture. That's where AbLabs or AbsoluteLabs came into the picture. I had a brief meeting previously with Rushi when I was at one of my previous businesses. And after I reached out, we started sort of getting into the AbsoluteLabs expertise, and we realized that they have done quite a lot of work on NewStore as well as MuleSoft. But the problem was they did not have any local presence. And that, given the size of the project and the impact of change management over the whole thing, we wanted to make sure that there was local presence for us. And that's when Tushar stepped up and said we would have somebody locally managing the project for you, which was a big help. And we had still not taken a decision. So the decision was, of course, subject to them having a local presence. So we finally decided to work with AbsoluteLabs because, frankly, given these two platforms, there wasn't anyone who had this much experience delivering these two platforms. Like NewStore recommends AbsoluteLabs really, really highly. They recommend them even higher than their own professional services team, which is unheard of. So, but we very quickly realized as we were going through the project why they say that. So we were on a very tight timeline, 6 months. It was roughly 6 months go live from the time we gave a go ahead to AbsoluteLabs. We did the discovery workshop, and I think that's when we realized the total scope of work, like very detailed scope of work. And the team still continued to commit to the same 6 months timeline, which was a August go live for us. We started this in mid to end of February. So we continued with the project. The team was very professional. Of course, they had done it multiple times. They're very professional and knew most of the details about NewStore. But there had to be a spanner in the works, and the spanner in the works was our ERP M3. in 4M3. And there was a lot of work required there, but the partner supporting us was not capable enough to deliver that. And I reached out again to Absolute Labs team, asking them if they had any references. And once more, I think that was a turning point for the project, which is why we were able to deliver it on time. Where I think they stepped up, they realized that it had a implication to the overall timeline. They really stepped up. They found a partner that who had worked with them before, delivering similar changes. That partner supported us throughout the whole project, and we were able to go live still at 6 months time. So which was a very big win. Like we had some internal buffer that we had kept, but we never needed to utilize that buffer. The go live was as promised, exactly on the same date. Well, I think in terms of overall partnership and what made the partnership tick, um, I think the the Absolute Labs team's experience of delivering solutions on NewStore was really handy. And I think this was very evident during the discovery workshops itself, where they were asking the right questions. They were wherever we had gaps in our teams, they would still ask us questions in those areas to make sure that whether there were some requirements in that area. So I think the requirement taking was fairly thorough. We had gaps in our team. I was 6 months into the organization. 80% of my team was 1 year or less. So there were a lot of technical debts that we were not aware of. There were quite a lot of things that we were discovering as we were analyzing things because the team was so new. But they kept pace with us, and they pushed us. They pushed us to deliver the answers in the right timeline, so that the overall project can still be delivered on time. So I think that was really good. I think the other thing that worked really well in our scenario, which I think everyone should make sure, like if running a new store project, is this is a retail project. This is not a technology project. And I think Absolute Labs did mention it or did mention it multiple times to us. That was based on their experience with other clients. And involving the retail team from day zero was critical in success of the overall piece. The other thing that I would mention is our project manager, Ayush, who was actually on the call. Uh, at times, he was managing 4 time zones for certain meetings. So there were people involved from India, there were people involved from the UK, from Australia, and in Australia also 2 time zones. So getting them all together and still making sure that we progress was hats off to our internal project manager Atima and Ayush. They both worked together really, really well, and they made sure that uh, they were able to get people in common calls, which was very difficult across the 5 time zones. So yeah, I think the overall project management and visibility of any critical decisions required at any point of time was created very well by project managers. We took both of those decisions independently, because we were in the market for order management systems. So we looked at other order management systems also, and what we realized was NewStore was meeting our requirements, the maximum, uh, or it was right for the organization per se. There are more functionality-rich order management systems, but at our level of complexity, we did not really need, those elaborate systems. So we made the choice for order management system first, and then we had some pain points with the point of sale as well, and it made sense for us to, given that it's just one system overall. Uh, Change management is the only piece that you have to do a little bit more apart from a few more technical pieces. So we thought we'll replace the order management system and point of sale at the same time. And similarly, we took a decision on MuleSoft mostly by ourselves. We did interact with a few partners at that stage, including Absolute Labs as well, because they had experience of MuleSoft with NewStore. So we had taken the NewStore decision first. And similarly, there were the other partners who had experiences of other integration platforms that we were looking at. And in a few cases, they had integration to NewStore as well. So speaking to them about their experience, speaking to a few technology leaders or teams using these integrations was also helpful in our overall decision making. So yes, we took the decisions ourselves, but especially in MuleSoft, um, we were guided a lot by the partners that we were working with. Well, about the critical stage, especially towards the end, I think the overall project management structure and program management structure that was put in place right from the beginning, that was really handy. I mean, it had very clear uh, meeting times. It had very clear intervention times or decision times built in. So I think overall that helped us, keep on track. Um, I think one more thing, if I may say, and this is, I think Absolute Labs team is wonderful overall in my experience so far. However, having internal testers helps a lot. Uh, and part of the reason for that is their business IP, which is as a tester who's not involved in the business, I might not be aware of all the corner and edge cases, which they are. So I think while Absolute Labs did a very well tested product, I think there were edge cases that our team tested or they were able to figure out and then circle it back. But at the same time, that whole closing the loop with those bugs was done very well. Like the bugs were all tracked to closure, so we knew that we had already addressed these things. Uh, Another really good thing was making sure that we are not reintroducing old bugs when making code changes. So I think overall the version management was really clean. So we did not get the same bugs later on, in later releases. But at the same time, you do expect, some level of discipline there. So, but overall, I would say um, that was very well done, and that resulted in the project being a success. Like um, we had our backup plans or our rollback plans. Uh, all of that was detailed, but we did not need to go anywhere there because we had done enough work just before that to make sure it was a success. And we had done scenario planning. We had looked at before rollback what else we could do. So and we tested whatever we could test. We actually tested in pilot stores first. So we ran a close to 3.5 weeks pilot where we tested it in a real store. So apart from order management capabilities, everything else was tested. Order management we tested separately with production orders that were going through. So overall, I think everything was fairly well laid out, and that speaks to the experience that the team had previously doing such work. So I think retail expertise plus new store and MuleSoft expertise overall really helped. So in terms of stage of the project, I think we have delivered phase one of the project, which was the bulk of delivery in terms of change management. I think now what we're doing in the project is the evolution, which is after the pause, there is a clienteling side, there is a loyalty side, uh, there is customer enrichment required for our stores and stores that are using the point of sale system. So those are the phases which we are already midway through, or they are shortly coming up. In terms of expectations of phase one and whether that has been a success or not, it has been a complete success based on the measurements that we have had so far. So one of the key objectives was improving our inventory accuracy. Uh, but the way we were going to measure it was by looking at our unfulfilled SFS orders and how basically we can compare them year on year and see what the impact has been on. And our target was reducing them by 70% when we started. And as of last couple of weeks, we are constantly hitting numbers which are 85 to 95% lower compared to last year. The other good thing is the architecture change has actually created visibility for us. So we are able to even go and find the reasons for those 5% unfulfilled orders, and we are tackling them now as well. So I'm fairly confident that we'll start hitting only exceptions as unfulfilled orders rather than um, seeing numbers in tens or hundreds during peak. That itself has delivered the ROI for the project. Um, Not to mention uh, the lack of any queues during peak times, because now everyone can sell using mobile devices. So of course there is that benefit, and overall feedback from the retail team has been, you know, absolutely the right step in the right direction. And they're asking for more, which is why there is clienteling coming up. There is customer profile enrichment coming up for stores. Those are the initiatives, and of course looking at uh, you know, from a AI side as well, which is could we provide our stores with an agent that they could ask, all of these questions from about any particular customer that is visiting, if they're identified, or any particular category. Like rather than going to a particular unit and checking its availability across the store, you could just ask the question, which is, can you tell me where this item is available, and it will be there. I think there is that progression as well, and I've been speaking to NewStore themselves that what is their roadmap about doing something like that. So that's the other angle of it. For me, the impact of the project was quite big, and it was a very critical change. We were literally doing a heart surgery in the business while still running the business, and working with a partner that knew the technology and that knew the business was very critical. And that's the reason we chose a partner who, at one point of time, did not have any co-location with us. Uh, and there were doubts raised whether a partner from overseas can deliver quality on this or not. But uh, Absolute Labs did that, and I think if anyone is in the retail business and they're trying to work in areas or improve in areas where these guys can help, I think you should work with them. I think it makes sense for retailers to work with businesses who focus on retail, because otherwise, bringing them up to speed with the business takes quite a lot of time of the project. Retailers working with retailers, I think, works better, whether that's technology or any other side.